Ellie, are you sick? Looks like you're on vacation to me, huh? Did the doctor say you need to be in the hospital? You dehydrated? You dehydrated? Show me your arm palm on hand. Show me your Ellie. Show me your arm palm on hand. Show me your hand.
We've got to find Princess Daisy. Will you help us find Princess Daisy?
Ellie. Ellie Jane.
Nakunata na. Na. Nai na. Nani?
Hey guys, so I have to be quiet because Suki and Ellie are sleeping, but this is the only time that I've had to make a video. So I'm sorry that I haven't had an update in a long time, but that's because we have had a crazy week. Saturday morning, last week Saturday morning, around like 7 a.m. or something, I woke up to Ellie saying, "Mama, achoo, achoo," and that means tissue, like she wants a tissue. And so I went into her room and she had thrown up in her bed, and I thought sometimes like she'll overeat or she'll like gag herself or something, so I wasn't sure if she was sick or not, so I just cleaned it up and then put her back down to bed because usually she doesn't wake up that early. And then she threw up again around the time that she wakes up usually, so around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And Suki went to work and I just kept an eye on her, and she threw up again, so I decided to take her to the doctor. And and then like as we were leaving to go to the doctor, she started having really bad diarrhea, like continuous diarrhea. So I was like, oh no, this might be norovirus, because in Japan right now norovirus is going around like crazy, and we've been going to like Kosadate Plaza, which is like this daycare, not daycare, but like play area, and there's lots of kids there and lots of bacteria and germs there. And anyway, so I went to the doctor expecting that's what it was going to be, but the doctor, like, she just gotten sick that morning, so it was really hard for him to tell, but he was like, well, the norovirus test came back negative, so it's probably just some sort of stomach bug. And I said, well, that's good that it's not norovirus. And he said, yeah, but it could be rotavirus, which is much worse, and then norovirus. And I was like, okay, well, it's just a stomach bug, right? And he said, well, I think so. So we went home, and he said, but you can come back, like, if it gets worse. And it did, it got worse, like, throughout the entire day. She threw up and she had diarrhea all day, and by the nighttime she was just, like, exhausted, and Suki and I were exhausted. And we didn't end up taking her to the doctor because, I guess I just thought that it would be okay, you know, she'd get better the next day, or it'd work its way out. And we kept trying to, you know, keep her hydrated and everything. But the next day she was getting better, like she didn't throw up, she still had diarrhea, and she still wasn't eating, like she could not eat. She didn't eat for 2 days, so then, yeah, Monday, Suki had off work and she still wasn't eating, and then that night, Monday night, she threw up again, and so I'm like, okay, well she's not getting better, so I'm gonna take her to the doctor on Tuesday morning. And so she hadn't been eating that entire weekend. She hadn't ate at all Saturday, Sunday, Monday she ate a little, but she threw it up. So I was really getting concerned because she's really getting thin, and so I took her to the doctor again, and he was like, oh no, I think we should get her on an IV, so that was really scary. So then we had her, Suki was at work, but I took her and she got an IV. And then they drew her blood, and the test came back when she was still hooked up to the IV that she was really dehydrated, and lots of her blood work was really off. Like, she just was really drained from that whole weekend of being sick. And so they decided that she needed to be hospitalized because she was so dehydrated. So that was scary. So I called my mother-in-law. She came to the hospital and helped me. And then we checked Ellie in, and I started to feel sick. So it got to be like nighttime. And I had been feeling sick like since Monday, but just like kind of like a cold. Nothing big, but as Tuesday progressed, Tuesday was the day that Ellie was hospitalized, I started to feel more and more feverish as the day went by, and like really dizzy and just like headachy, and I could tell something bad was coming on. And I told Suki, he got back from work and met me in the hospital, and I was like, I'm really not feeling good. But he ended up going home. I was gonna stay the night. But then I realized, like, after a couple hours progressed, that I shouldn't be there because I was just getting really sick. And I took my temperature. It was like 30, it was like 100 degrees or 101 or something like that. And so I decided to go to the doctor, which was on the first floor, and he was like, well, it's probably just like a sinus infection, so you should be okay as long as you wear a mask, because I was concerned it was influenza. And wash your hands, but even if we take an influenza test right now, then for like, it takes 24 hours from the time that you get a temperature for the test to actually be, like show positive or negative. So anyway, so I told Suki, like, well, why don't you stay the night? I'm gonna go home and rest. So I went home. I came back in the morning to come see Ellie because obviously, like, my baby is in the hospital, like, I'm going to want to see her. So I went to the hospital. I probably shouldn't have, because at first I was feeling fine, but Ellie was still not eating and she was still throwing up, and at least she was on an IV, and I wanted to be there to help. And then I just, like, started to get really sick. My temperature went way up, and it was like 38.4. That's not that bad, but still I was really sick. Like, I couldn't even get up off the couch, like, in the room. And so I'm like telling Suki, like, Suki, can you get me some water? And he's like taking care of Ellie and taking care of me, and he's like, you should just go home. I'm like, I don't want to go home, I just want to stay here. Like, I wanted to be with Ellie, but I also was too tired to go home. But I just eventually, like, decided to go downstairs and get checked out again. So I was up in the room for like a couple hours, and it got worse, and then I got my period on top of everything else. So I'm like running to the bathroom because my stomach is upset, and I anyway, so this story isn't supposed to be about me. So I went downstairs and got tested for influenza, and that came back positive. So I ended up having the flu. And I had like a meltdown, and I started crying. I was like, I'm afraid that Ellie's gonna get influenza. Like, she can't handle that right now because she's so sick and dehydrated. And like, what if she gets it? What if I get rotavirus, and what if she gets influenza? And I was just panicking there, like, okay, you just need to take your medicine. We've got Ellie in the hospital. We'll tell the doctor in charge of her that she needs to be, that you have influenza, and so he'll take care of her. Don't worry, she'll be okay. And then they gave me an IV, and that really calmed me down. Like, it just really took my fever down and made me feel like a lot better, a million times better. And once the IV took 2 hours, progressed. I went home and I talked to Suki on the phone, and he said that that the doctor was going to give Ellie Tamiflu, which is the drug for influenza, so she could take that and she probably wouldn't get influenza. Like, it would take care of the influenza before it kicked in, so it'd be kind of like a vaccine. Oh, so that was a relief, but I was worried that she wouldn't take it, but I guess she did. She has been. She's been taking it. She's still taking it. So anyway, Suki said she was starting to eat on Wednesday, and that, wait, Thursday? Thursday, sorry. Thursday. So she was there. Wednesday's the day that I came home with influenza. I was home Thursday, and then Thursday Suki called and said that she was starting to eat and starting to feel better again, so she could probably come home Friday. So that was yesterday. And thankfully yesterday she came home, and she has been doing really good. Like, she hasn't had diarrhea, she hasn't thrown up, she's been eating normally, and she's gained back a lot of weight. So she's basically 100% back to health. She's been drinking the Tamiflu so she won't get influenza, and I was pretty sick the first couple days, but now I'm starting to feel better. Like, I still feel a little bit nauseous and like lightheaded, but I feel fine. I've just been wearing a mask in the house around Ellie and Suki so that Suki doesn't get it if he hasn't already. So that was our hospital scare. It was pretty stressful. I mean, we're still pretty stressed out about it. Like, I know I am. I was just scared. I was so scared. I was like afraid that she was just so drained after having Did I tell you the test came back positive for rotavirus? So after all that time, like after the doctor said that she only had a stomach bug that whole time, like after we finally got her hospitalized, we found out that it was rotavirus, which is like a really bad virus. It's worse than norovirus, and it lasts longer, so that's why it's so dangerous. So make sure that if your kid gets norovirus or rotavirus, that you keep a close eye on them, because no matter how hard you try to keep them hydrated or to give them juice or Powerade or water, or here it's Pocari Sweat, or feed them, like if they keep having diarrhea and throwing up, like there's nothing you can do except take them to the hospital and get them on an IV. And that's usually the best thing to do, because honestly dehydration is really serious and really scary, and I'm just so glad that I took her to the doctor when I did, because if it was pretty bad, like she was pretty dehydrated. So I'm just so glad that she's better now. So anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna put some videos in now of her in the hospital. She's pretty cute even though she's sick. Alright, and good night, guys.